Hello everyone and welcome to my General Hospital Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Josslyn is questioned, Lois panics and Laura worries pointlessly. According to General Hospital spoilers, a sneak peek video clip for Monday, February 24, 2025, has been made public. Lois Cerullo is depicted plunging into a desperate panic. Trina Robinson is defended by Kai Taylor. Someone questions Josslyn Jax. In addition, Anna Devane has a demand from the police. Let's discuss what will happen in today's ABC soap opera episode as you continue reading. The demand of Anna Devane. You can anticipate Anna picking up the phone and taking care of business on Monday, February 24th. Lucky Spencer is barely alive after being attacked by Digitalis. The only thing left to do is wait and see if the physicians were successful in preventing the overdose. Meanwhile, everyone is seeking for Cyrus, utterly unaware that Joss just slain the evil. Anna is seen in the preview video directing someone to go to the police station, while she is on the phone. Josslyn Jax was interrogated. Josslyn's mind is racing as she continues to deal with the murder of Cyrus and Jack Brennan's cover-up. Trina knows her buddy too well, despite Josslyn's best efforts to remain calm. Trina is aware that Josslyn is having problems at Bobby's. But even with her best friend, Josslyn isn't comfortable sharing this kind of knowledge. Kai meanwhile stands up for Trina. Kai explains that the only thing keeping him from going insane is Trina, the fear of Laura Collins. According to General Hospital previews, Port Charles residents will also be in a panic over Cyrus in today's episode. The police are currently unaware that Cyrus has passed away. Laura Collins is concerned while everyone else is looking for the serial killer. Laura warns Martin Gray that if Cyrus is still out there, they are not secure. In another scene, Christina Corinthos Davis declares to Molly Lansing Davis that she will never again have faith in the legal system. Dante Falconeri is informed by Alexis Davis that they must now ascertain the reason. The confession of Brooklyn Quartermain. When Brooklyn Quartermain finally tells Lois about her confession, she feels relieved. Lois's mouth falls open and her eyes glimmer as Brooklyn exclaims with delight that Harrison Chase is an expert on everything. Officially, Lois is in a panic. The complete truth concerning Giovanni Gio Palmieri, Dante, and BLQ will soon be revealed. What will be the overall impact of that bombshell? Chase is enraged by Brooklyn's secret baby drama. Chase's wife is aware that she would have to inform him that she gave birth to a child in the past. However, doing so will cause massive earthquakes. According to head writers Chris Van Etten and Elizabeth Corta, he's rightly furious when he learns, Soap Opera Digest reports, at the circumstance not at Brooklyn. Given that the two of them might not be able to conceive, Chase finds it extremely painful to think of the suffering she went through and continues to go through. But given how incredibly in love they are, the newlyweds are undoubtedly capable of surviving the storm. That is, if the entire truth, including the bit that even Brooklyn is unaware of, didn't surface, they could. Gio is the kid of her and Dante. But how could anyone find out Lois's long-kept secret? Just one word, Lulu. If she learned that Dante had a child that was kept from him, the scribes imply, she would stop at nothing to make amends and face the repercussions. General Hospital spoilers indicate we, along with Port Charles, are holding our breath as Lucky Spencer teeters on the brink of death. After a vicious encounter with Cyrus Renault, Lucky is very ill, receiving Digitalis injections, and struggling to stay alive. Is this the end of the line for the good nurse's star-crossed ex? Or will he persevere to cause more mayhem and give us the long-awaited reunion with Elizabeth Baldwin that we've been waiting for? Whether Lucky lives or checks out permanently could be changed by what transpires next. A clash that could be deadly. Lucky and Cyrus engaged in a physical altercation that quickly descended into violence. Cyrus injected his nephew with Digitalis using a syringe, causing him to collapse. It's touch and go, but the doctors at JICH are working feverishly to rescue him. Was this just another failed power attempt, or was Cyrus warped retaliation for some old grudge? In any case, time is running out and Lucky is fighting for her life. Fans are freaking out. Does he have one more chance to make a return, or will his luck finally run out? The fortunate might live. Say what happens when Lucky overcomes the odds and awakens. From Elizabeth to the rest of the town, he has unresolved business. Their long-simmering love for one another might be stoked by a near-death experience. Imagine Elizabeth understanding she can never lose him again, or him telling her all about how much he still loves her. Would Aiden Weber, his already sensitive kid, experience terror and anxiety as a result of this scare? Everyone would be happy if Lucky survived, but nobody would be thrilled to see him carry on with his reckless ways. Isn't it time for this man to get married and cease continuing his father's legacy? What happens if he leaves? What if Lucky doesn't show up, though? Imagine Aiden losing his father again, Laura Collins being devastated by the loss of another child, something she has almost gone through with all of her surviving children, and Elizabeth falling at his bedside. Lulu Spencer would have to deal with the fact that she had only known her brother for a few months before she lost him forever. Port Chuck might be rocked by Lucky's departure, leaving Laura in a tailspin, Elizabeth depending on Rick Lansing, and the town lamenting a legacy. Let's just say that Sam McCall is definitely missed in the General Hospital fictional town of Port Charles. Kelly Monaco must go back to the General Hospital for these 5 reasons. Despite the fact that the character tragically died at the hands of Cyrus, who has now passed away, General Hospital fans are still fighting to bring her back because they miss and adore seeing actress Kelly Monaco on screen. Having said that, these are the top 5 reasons Kelly Monaco should go back to the General Hospital. Sam may still be alive. If the world of daytime television has taught us anything, it is that, despite the final nail being driven into your coffin, you are never truly dead. It's likely that Sam has a twin sister. This is a traditional soap opera plot twist, but it would undoubtedly bring Kelly Monaco back to the spotlight, and of course, provide the millions of admirers she left behind with a great deal of joy and relief. One legacy character is Sam McCall. A heritage character like Sam McCall cannot just be dropped with the expectation that no one will notice or care. Like Sonny Corinthos or even Sam's mother, Alexis Davis, Sam deserves to return to Port Charles. General Hospital spoilers. Port Charles's upcoming events? Kelly Monaco should get responses. Nobody is entirely sure why Kelly was fired from the popular ABC soap opera. Like the fans, she deserves answers. All we can infer at the time of publication is that the producers fired her for private reasons. Without Sam, Port Charles is not the same. Let's face it, Port Charles just isn't the same without Sam. There's a reason her name keeps coming up. Everyone misses her, including Jason Morgan, Dante, and Alexis. Lois panics, Josslyn questioned. Laura worries for nothing. The room was thick with tension, the kind that clung to the air like a suffocating fog. Lois paced back and forth, her heels clicking sharply against the hardwood floor, each step echoing the frantic rhythm of her thoughts. Her hands trembled as she clutched her phone, the screen lighting up with a barrage of unanswered messages. Her breath came in short, shallow gasps, and her mind raced with worst-case scenarios. Lois was panicking, and it was a sight that no one in the room had ever seen before. Lois had always been the pillar of strength, the one who kept her cool in the face of chaos. She was the planner, the problem solver, the one who could navigate any crisis with a calm demeanor and a sharp mind. But now that facade was crumbling. The weight of the situation had finally caught up to her, and she was unraveling at the seams. Her panic was palpable, a living, breathing entity that filled the room and left everyone else on edge. Across the room, Josslyn sat stiffly in a chair, her arms crossed tightly over her chest. Her expression was unreadable, but her eyes betrayed a flicker of unease. She had been questioned relentlessly for the past hour, and the pressure was starting to wear on her. The questions had been pointed, probing, designed to trip her up and expose any lies or inconsistencies in her story. Josslyn had held her ground, answering each one with a calm, measured tone, but the strain was beginning to show. The interrogation had come out of nowhere, catching Josslyn off guard. She had been going about her day, minding her own business, when suddenly she was thrust into the spotlight, accused of things she couldn't even begin to comprehend. The accusations were absurd, outrageous even, but the intensity of the questioning had shaken her. She had always prided herself on her ability to stay composed under pressure, but this was different. This felt personal. As the questions continued to fly, Josslyn found herself second-guessing every word, every gesture, every breath. Had she said too much? Had she given something away without realizing it? The doubt gnawed at her, eroding her confidence and leaving her feeling exposed and vulnerable. She wanted to scream, to lash out, to demand answers of her own, but she knew better. She had to stay calm, had to keep her cool, no matter how much it cost her. Meanwhile, Laura sat quietly in the corner, her hands folded neatly in her lap. She had been watching the scene unfold with a mixture of curiosity and concern, but now she was beginning to feel a sense of unease creeping in. Laura had always been the worrier, the one who saw danger lurking around every corner. She had spent countless nights lying awake, her mind racing with thoughts of all the things that could go wrong. But this time her worries felt different. This time they felt real. Laura's gaze flicked between Lois and Josslyn, her heart aching for both of them. She could see the pain and fear in Lois's eyes, the way her hands shook as she tried to hold herself together. She could see the strain on Josslyn's face, the way her jaw tightened as she fought to maintain her composure. Laura wanted to reach out to them, to offer some kind of comfort or reassurance, but she didn't know how. She felt helpless, useless, like a bystander in her own life. As the minutes ticked by, Laura's worries began to spiral out of control. What if Lois couldn't pull herself together? What if Josslyn cracked under the pressure? What if everything fell apart, and there was nothing she could do to stop it? The thoughts swirled in her mind, each one more terrifying than the last. She felt a lump forming in her throat, a tightness in her chest that made it hard to breathe. She wanted to cry, to scream, to do something, anything to make the fear go away. But then, just as quickly as the panic had set in, it began to subside. Laura took a deep breath, forcing herself to focus on the present moment. She reminded herself that worrying wouldn't solve anything, that it would only make things worse. She had to trust that Lois and Josslyn would find a way to get through this, just as they always had. She had to believe that everything would be okay, even if it didn't feel that way right now. As the tension in the room began to ease, Lois finally stopped pacing and sank into a chair, her head in her hands. She looked exhausted, drained, as if the weight of the world had been lifted off her shoulders only to reveal the crushing burden beneath. Josslyn, too, seemed to relax, her shoulders slumping as she let out a long, shaky breath. The questioning was over for now, but the scars it had left behind would take time to heal. Laura watched them both, a small smile tugging at the corners of her lips. Despite everything, they were still here, still standing, still fighting. And that was enough. For now, at least, it was enough. The aftermath. A deeper dive into the characters. Lois, the unraveling of a pillar. Lois had always been the rock in her relationships, the one others leaned on in times of crisis. Her ability to remain calm under pressure was legendary, a trait that had earned her the respect and admiration of everyone around her. But even the strongest pillars can crack under enough weight, and Lois was no exception. Her panic was not just a reaction to the immediate situation. It was the culmination of months, if not years, of suppressed stress and anxiety. Lois had always been the one to take charge, to shoulder the burdens of those around her without complaint. But the toll it had taken on her was immense. She had spent so much time worrying about everyone else that she had neglected her own needs, her own fears, her own vulnerabilities. As she sat there, her head in her hands, Lois realized that she couldn't keep going like this. She needed to find a way to let go, to release the pressure that had been building inside her for so long. She needed to allow herself to be human, to feel, to falter, to lean on others for once. It was a daunting prospect, but it was also a necessary one. If she didn't find a way to take care of herself, she would eventually break, and there would be no one left to pick up the pieces. Josslyn. The weight of suspicion. For Josslyn, the questioning had been a wake-up call. She had always prided herself on her ability to stay calm under pressure, to navigate even the most difficult situations with grace and poise. But the intensity of the interrogation had shaken her to her core, forcing her to confront the limits of her own resilience. The accusations had been baseless, of course, but that didn't make them any less painful. Josslyn had always tried to live her life with integrity, to do the right thing even when it was hard. To have her character called into question, to be treated like a criminal, was a blow she hadn't seen coming. It made her question everything. Her choices, her relationships, her very sense of self. As the questioning dragged on, Josslyn found herself grappling with a mix of anger and fear. She was angry at the injustice of it all, at the way she had been treated, at the assumptions that had been made about her. But she was also afraid. Afraid of what this meant for her future. afraid of how it would affect her relationships, afraid of the damage it might do to her reputation. In the end, Josslyn knew that the only way to move forward was to hold her head high and stay true to herself. She couldn't control what others thought of her, but she could control how she responded. She could choose to rise above the accusations, to prove them wrong not with words but with actions. It wouldn't be easy, but it was the only way she could reclaim her sense of self. Laura, the futility of worry. Laura's worries had always been a double-edged sword. On one hand, they made her cautious, thoughtful, and empathetic. She was the kind of person who always considered the consequences of her actions, who always put the needs of others before her own. But on the other hand, her worries could be paralyzing, trapping her in a cycle of fear and doubt that made it hard to move forward. As she sat in the corner watching Lois and Josslyn, Laura realized that her worries had been for nothing. The situation had been intense, yes, but it hadn't been the catastrophe she had imagined. Lois had panicked, but she had also found a way to pull herself together. Josslyn had been questioned, but she had held her ground. And Laura? Laura had worried herself sick over something that had ultimately resolved itself. It was a sobering realization, one that forced Laura to confront the futility of her own fears. She had spent so much time and energy worrying about things that were beyond her control, things that might never even happen. And in doing so, she had missed out on the present moment, on the chance to truly connect with the people she cared about. As the tension in the room began to ease, Laura made a silent promise to herself. She would try to worry less, to focus on the things she could control rather than the things she couldn't. She would try to be more present, more engaged, more alive. It wouldn't be easy, old habits die hard, but it was a step in the right direction. Conclusion: finding strength in vulnerability. In the end, the events of that day served as a reminder that even the strongest among us have our breaking points. Lois, Josslyn, and Laura each faced their own struggles, their own fears, their own vulnerabilities. But they also found strength in each other, in the knowledge that they were not alone. Lois learned that it was okay to lean on others, to let go of the need to always be in control. Josslyn discovered that her integrity was unshakable, even in the face of doubt and suspicion. And Laura realized that worrying about the future only robbed her of the present. Together, they found a way to move forward, to face whatever challenges lay ahead with courage and resilience. And in doing so, they proved that even in the darkest moments, there is always hope. Brooklyn's secret baby drama leaves Chase furious. In the world of soap operas, few storylines are as emotionally charged and dramatically potent as the revelation of a secret baby. When Brooklyn's secret comes to light, it sends shockwaves through her relationships, particularly with Chase, who is left reeling with fury and betrayal. This storyline is a classic example of how secrets, lies, and unresolved emotions can unravel even the strongest bonds, leaving characters and viewers alike on the edge of their seats. The setup: Brooklyn's secret. Brooklyn, a character known for her fiery personality and complex relationships, finds herself in a situation that forces her to make a life-altering decision. After a passionate but brief romance with Chase, Brooklyn discovers she is pregnant. However, circumstances at the time, whether it's their rocky relationship, external pressures, or her own fears, lead her to keep the pregnancy a secret. She chooses to raise the child on her own, believing it's the best decision for everyone involved. For months, Brooklyn lives with the weight of her secret, juggling the demands of motherhood while maintaining a facade of normalcy. She convinces herself that she's protecting Chase, sparing him from the complications of parenthood and the potential fallout of their tumultuous relationship. But as any soap opera fan knows, secrets have a way of coming to light, often at the most inopportune moments. The revelation: Chase's fury. When Chase finally learns the truth, his reaction is nothing short of explosive. The man who once loved Brooklyn deeply feels betrayed on every level. How could she keep something so monumental from him? How could she deny him the chance to be a father to his own child? His fury is palpable, and it's not just about the secret itself, it's about the trust that has been shattered. Chase's anger is fueled by a sense of injustice. He feels robbed of precious time with his child, time he can never get back. He questions Brooklyn's motives, wondering if she ever truly cared about him, or if their relationship was just a fleeting moment for her. His mind races with doubts and insecurities, and he struggles to reconcile the woman he thought he knew with the one who kept such a life-changing secret from him. The emotional fallout. The revelation of Brooke Lynn's secret baby doesn't just affect Chase. It sends ripples through their entire social circle. Friends and family are forced to take sides, adding layers of tension and conflict to an already volatile situation. Some may sympathize with Brooke Lynn, understanding the difficult position she was in and the reasons behind her decision. Others may side with Chase, believing that he had a right to know about his child from the beginning. For Brooke Lynn, the fallout is equally devastating. She never wanted to hurt Chase, and seeing the pain she's caused him fills her with guilt and regret. She must now navigate the consequences of her actions while trying to rebuild trust with Chase, if that's even possible. Her journey is one of redemption, as she seeks to make amends and prove that her intentions, though flawed, were never malicious. Chase, on the other hand, is consumed by his anger. He struggles to process his emotions, vacillating between rage, heartbreak, and a desire for closure. His relationship with Brooke Lynn is irrevocably changed, and he must decide whether he can forgive her or if their connection is beyond repair. This internal conflict adds depth to his character, showcasing his vulnerability and humanity. The child's role in the drama. At the heart of this storyline is the child, an innocent bystander caught in the crossfire of adult emotions. The baby becomes a symbol of both love and betrayal, a living reminder of the relationship between Brooke Lynn and Chase. As the drama unfolds, the child's well-being becomes a central concern, forcing both parents to confront their responsibilities and priorities. For Chase, bonding with his child is both a healing process and a source of further conflict. He wants to be a good father, but his anger toward Brooke Lynn complicates their co-parenting dynamic. He must learn to separate his feelings for her from his love for his child, a challenge that tests his emotional maturity and resilience. Brooke Lynn, meanwhile, must grapple with the consequences of her decision to keep the baby a secret. She fears losing custody or being judged as an unfit mother, adding another layer of tension to the storyline. Her journey is one of growth, as she learns to balance her own needs with those of her child and Chase. The broader implications. The secret baby storyline is more than just a plot device. It's a reflection of the complexities of human relationships. It explores themes of trust, forgiveness, and the consequences of our choices. For viewers, it's a compelling narrative that resonates on a deeply emotional level, reminding us of the power of love and the pain of betrayal. In the context of the show, this storyline has the potential to reshape the dynamics between characters and set the stage for future drama. It could lead to new alliances, rivalries, and romantic entanglements, keeping viewers invested in the unfolding saga. The fallout from Brooke Lynn's secret could reverberate for months or even years, influencing the trajectories of multiple characters. The road to redemption. As the dust begins to settle, the question remains: can Brooke Lynn and Chase find a way to move forward? For Chase, forgiveness may not come easily, but it's not impossible. His journey is one of self-discovery, as he learns to let go of his anger and embrace the role of fatherhood. For Brooke Lynn, redemption is a slow and arduous process, requiring her to prove her sincerity and commitment to making things right. Their path to reconciliation is fraught with obstacles, but it's also an opportunity for growth. Through their struggles, they may come to understand each other better and find a way to co-parent their child in a healthy and supportive manner. Whether they rekindle their romance or remain apart, their shared love for their child creates a bond that can't be easily broken. The impact on viewers. For fans of the show, Brooke Lynn's secret baby drama is a roller coaster of emotions. It's a storyline that keeps them guessing, with twists and turns that challenge their perceptions of the characters. Viewers may find themselves torn between sympathy for Brooke Lynn and empathy for Chase, reflecting the moral ambiguity of the situation. This storyline also sparks conversations about trust and communication in relationships. It serves as a cautionary tale, reminding viewers of the importance of honesty and transparency, even when the truth is difficult to share. At the same time, it highlights the complexities of parenthood and the sacrifices that come with it. Conclusion. Brooke Lynn's secret baby drama is a quintessential soap opera storyline, blending passion, betrayal, and redemption into a compelling narrative. Chase's fury is a natural reaction to such a profound betrayal, but it also opens the door for character growth and emotional depth. As the story unfolds, Viewers are taken on an emotional journey that explores the highs and lows of love, family, and forgiveness. In the end, the resolution of this drama will depend on the choices made by Brooklyn and Chase. Will they find a way to heal and move forward? Or will their relationship be forever scarred by the secrets of the past? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain. This storyline will leave a lasting impact on the characters and the audience alike. Lucky's life hangs in the balance. What happens next if he lives or dies? Life and death moments have always been a staple of dramatic storytelling, especially in soap operas, where a single event can reshape the fate of an entire cast of characters. Lucky Spencer, a beloved and iconic character, finds himself at the center of a life-or-death crisis. As fans hold their breath waiting for the outcome, speculation runs wild about what could happen next, depending on whether Lucky survives or succumbs to his fate. The lead-up to Lucky's tragic situation. Lucky has faced more than his fair share of turmoil throughout his life. From being kidnapped as a teenager to struggling with addiction and enduring numerous heartbreaks, his resilience has been tested repeatedly. But this time his life is truly hanging by a thread. A shocking turn of events, whether it be an accident, a calculated attack, or a medical crisis, has left him in critical condition. The people closest to him, including his family and loved ones, are anxiously awaiting any news that could determine his fate. With doctors working tirelessly to save him, the question remains: what happens next? If Lucky lives, a second chance at life. If Lucky survives, this could be the ultimate turning point in his life. He may wake up with a newfound perspective, realizing that he has been given a second chance to right past wrongs and embrace the future with open arms. But survival doesn't mean things will be easy. Here are some possible scenarios that could unfold. 1. A new lease on life. Surviving a near-death experience often forces people to reevaluate their priorities. Lucky may decide to take a step back from his chaotic past, opting for a quieter, more meaningful life. Perhaps he will reconnect with old loves, strengthen his bonds with family, or pursue a new career that aligns with his personal growth. 2. A difficult recovery. Coming back from the brink of death isn't just physical, it's mental and emotional as well. Lucky might suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, depression, or survivor's guilt. His journey to recovery could be long and arduous, requiring support from those who love him. Will he lean on his family, or will he push them away? 3. Revenge and retribution. If Lucky's near-death experience was the result of foul play, he might come back with a thirst for justice or vengeance. He could embark on a dangerous mission to find those responsible for his suffering, leading to an intense and action-packed storyline. 4. Rekindling old flames. Life-threatening situations tend to bring emotions to the surface. If Lucky wakes up, he might realize that he still harbors deep feelings for someone from his past. Could this be an opportunity for romance to rekindle, leading to a fresh start with a long-lost love? 5. A hero's journey. Lucky has always had a good heart, but maybe this experience will transform him into a full-fledged hero. He could dedicate his life to helping others, becoming a mentor or advocate for those who have faced struggles similar to his own. His survival could inspire those around him, making him a guiding light in a world filled with darkness. If Lucky dies, the aftermath of a tragic loss. If Lucky doesn't make it, the ramifications would be profound, rippling through the lives of everyone who knew and loved him. His death would leave a void that could never truly be filled, sparking a wide range of emotional reactions and consequences. Here's what could happen. 1. A family torn apart. Lucky's family has always been a strong yet complicated unit. His death could either bring them closer together in their grief, or shatter them entirely. Luke and Laura, his legendary parents, would be devastated, potentially leading them down separate paths of mourning. His siblings and extended family would struggle to cope with the loss, each dealing with the tragedy in their own way. 2. Justice and revenge. If foul play was involved, Lucky's loved ones would not rest until the truth was uncovered. His father, Luke, has always been a man of action, and he might take matters into his own hands. This could lead to a revenge-fueled storyline, where those responsible for Lucky's demise are brought to justice. 3. A community in mourning. Lucky wasn't just a man. He was an integral part of the community. His death would impact not only his immediate circle but also the larger world around him. Friends, colleagues, and even past adversaries might come together to honor his memory, proving just how much he meant to everyone.